Good day, everybody. It's another weekend and another gross, gloomy day. I'm just trying out one of these battery packs I got from Gen's Ace. I'm using the 2.1 amp charger because my iPhone 6 Plus, the battery's getting weak in it, so it can't last a full day. A little bit more compact than carrying a jump starter around, that's for sure. Brought Tomcat out for a couple minutes. Just gross. So gray and gross. That rust hole in my truck sure got big over the winter time. I bought the patch panel last year. This year we'll have to weld it in place. Gotta fix that one too. Nothing I hate worse than people let their dogs shit wherever. Fuck, that makes me mad. Grab the door I need out of the shed. Let's bolt this up. This should be interesting. Gonna use a snap-on stool with the machinist block. Put the door up there. This would be easier with two people, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Those door hinges haven't moved, so the alignment should be pretty easy to set up, hopefully. Which I should have learned my lesson instead of taking the hinges off that one, because I still need to set that one up. Fuck, let's get her done. Both doors are on. The next step is going to be trying to bolt down the body on this side here. There is one problem though. The door went on fine and everything else, and before we discuss it, you can see the rocker basically butts up to the floor, so there's really no movement unless you take the whole floor and can twist it like that. But let me show you what's happening. This side here, not too worried about. We still got to bolt it up in the floor. Kind of goes over top of the rocker there. So we'll correct that and that should be even. But then coming back to this back side here, it seems like, you know, the gap is pretty good here. I could probably come out a little bit here, and then hopefully that might suck it in there. But it almost seems like from this point on, the rocker takes a big dive inside. As you can see, but then the dog leg has to go in there too. So maybe the rocker goes underneath because the dog leg goes over top. That has to be determined. Everything beforehand was so rotted out that it's just patched together. So I'm basically trying to build this car from scratch, which is definitely the most challenging part. But we need to work a little bit at a time. Don't weld it together, just tack it together and hope for the best. Get as best as we could at least. Just put this in a zinc primer so we can start fitting it up tomorrow. So note to self, this no-name battery actually charges in the Milwaukee charger, which is good. I was kind of worried about that. So earlier we dropped out all the braces, not the braces, the rubber pads, so we could drop the floor down enough that we could start fitting good old rocker up here. Now we need to jack the body back up. I still got the rubber pad on that one, and then we can fit the pieces on, start tightening them up. I can't believe it, the sun is finally out. Almost every weekend this whole winter has been gray and gloomy, and it's so nice that the sun is out. Chipped a bunch of ice out in front of the house today so my car doesn't have to drive over big ass ruts. Still a lot of snow in the back alley here though. Last year at this time is bone dry. So this is why in the end I didn't focus too much on alignment, just kind of guessed at it, because you can see right now that I got the body bushings put in. The door is sitting very low now on the front, and the back door here, now let's rest it up, it's kind of sunk in. I'll pull the hinges out, which should put that in. I still gotta tighten up the bushing on there. Once I get the bushings in on this side, I can start working on some shims in that. Also, putting that brace in, sunk that floor back in together, which is really good. Just gonna spend the next little bit playing the alignment game now, set it up as best as I can, and then continue working away, because I'm pretty sure the alignment will probably change once I get that part of the floor set up, and then that part of the body's lifted up. It'll probably tweak it a little bit, and then once I get all that together, then I can do one final thing and then weld her all up, hopefully. Aubrey was just over, didn't get him on camera, put him to work helping me get this door put in. Now that I got the bushings, it's not too bad, it's livable. It's a little out there in the corner. Might just need to bend that in a little bit. Its door's a little out here. I don't know if I can adjust that with the striker or not, because it sits out quite far down here for some reason. I might have to I'll have to see how it goes. I was going to say I might have to suck that pillar in, but it's sucked in as far as it can go, especially with the floor. However, the rocker turned out pretty nice. It's pretty straight. I'm livable with that for sure. Just this part right here. That's a pretty big gap there, that's for sure. Thinking about it, there's a couple things I could do to correct that, because I am out. Jesus. That's quite a bit. Could be close to like 7/16, but what I could do is with this pillar here, this pillar's up against here where it's supposed to fit. I could cut a line through there, because on the back side of the pillar here, this is supposed to overlap on this side. So if I can get it over another ½ inch, 3/8 at least, that would make that gap look a hell of a lot nicer. This is gonna suck balls, but it's gotta get done. Went to leave for work today, and I do like a 2-point turn on my street, and my light shined right at my Jeep, and it looked like a brake line was busted, but it appears that the front inner seal on the differential is gone. It's been pissing out. I just pulled into the back alley, which is like a foot deep of slush. I gotta get the tarp out there. You could probably hear the wind howling, so I'm not gonna be able to talk when I get out there, but let's go have a look. Still got oil, which is good. Well, it couldn't have been leaking for too long because there's still oil in it. The bad thing is that I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it until this shit weather disappears, because last year at this time we had no fucking snow, and this is the last sunny day, and we're supposed to get 20 more centimeters of snow within the next fucking 4 or 5 days. It's like almost April. Almost fucking April. We're probably gonna have snow well into fucking May. Fuck me, this global warming is fucking bullshit. I'm not a fucking happy camper. This has been a shitty winter. It was a shitty last fucking summer too. The summer before that was even shittier because it rained all fucking day. Fuck me. Alright, motherfucking beer time. I got some Boxer hard root beer from a local brewery in town, Minhas Brewery. I actually like this stuff. It's pretty good. It's sweet as fuck. once again, this shit show never seems to end. Made headway on the car. I'm gonna get ready to start on the opposite side. However, noticed the seal was leaking on the Jeep, which is it's not a hard job to do, but it's a big time-consuming job because you got to pull obviously your tires, your brakes off, then you got to pull your wheel bearings and your axles. We can pull your wheel bearings and your axles out at once, but when you reinsert it, I prefer not to have the bearing on the end. Just makes it a little bit easier, so you don't damage that seal on installation. Then you got to pull the differential out. Make sure you don't mess up your bearing caps. Punch the old seals out, put the new ones in. Probably looking at a few hours anyways, a good chunk of the day. Not looking forward to that. Probably another month and a half. I just gotta keep my eye on it, make sure that the fluid doesn't get down too low. I noticed it was leaking. I checked it in the back alley. Looked like it was still pretty good, still up on the full mark. Anyways, I gotta get going. It's motherfucking beer time. If you guys have any questions or comments, post them below. Otherwise, I want to thank you guys for watching. The root beers are actually really good.